Good evening, and thank you for joining me tonight. In case you don't know who I am Jessica A. Highsmith. I am the founder and the co-partner with the Holy Spirit of Empower Me Enterprises and Empower Me Books. Tonight, I'm here wanting to talk to you with one of my co-hosts that will be on with me tonight. I will be interviewing Miss Lillie A. Hill. She is the founder of Health Education Solutions Incorporated, and she has been one of my amazing business clients along with book clients. And so she has actually just completed a 9-month program of business coaching and book coaching. And so out of that book program, she has created and birthed a book that is called Love Yourself to Life. She has a nurse edition that is out. It will be available just in the new year. And so right now she's doing pre-sales and pre-orders on her website. That website is www.healtheducationsolutions.com. And so we're going to have her on tonight to give us a little bit of information about her company, what she does, her books, and just what drove this passion for her to be able to do this. A little bit about her. She is a registered nurse. She is fully declarated. What do I mean by that? She is a dual master recipient from Duke University. I don't even know where she found the time to do two masters at the same time from Duke. She is married and she is also a mother of 3. So I am going to bring her on and we're going to just talk about a little bit about this book and about what made her do this. What did she see that she felt like was of such benefit that, I need to help these nurses. So give us just a moment and we will bring her on screen. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us today. I am so excited that you are here.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited as well.
Look at you looking beautiful as always.
Thank you.
So, Miss Lillie, I was just telling them a little bit about your books and about your business, Health Education Solutions. And, I was bragging on you just a little bit about you being a dual major and all from Duke. And I was like, I don't know where she found the time and to be married with kids. I'm just like, I'm in awe. Give me some pointers.
Well, I honestly have to tell you, after trying to be a mom and an employee, entrepreneur, trying to do it all, I've had to learn some tips of how to slow down and put some things on a calendar and really take care of myself so that I can be at best for all of these other people who count on me, the folks that I love.
See, I think that's so just perfect the way you said that because I try to do the same thing.
Uh-huh.
I had to call you earlier this week. Because it's just one of those things where sometimes where we are helping and we're doing for everybody else, we forget to do for ourselves and to take care of ourselves, right? And so I think your book is just perfect, when it comes to loving yourself to life and things of that sort. And I think that this is awesome that you're doing this for the nurses. So tell me a little bit about it.
Well, the idea came really 2 years ago in 2018, and it came as a direct impact of some things I was going to. As you may have told everyone, I am a nurse, registered nurse, and I've been a nurse for 30 years. But in 2018, I was going through so many challenges. Now, I am not directly at the bedside, but I'm a teacher. And so while teaching, the workload got really heavy, but I also had a lot of personal challenges. I had a sister to get diagnosed with bladder cancer. And she was the caretaker of my elderly father, who was like 92 at the time. And so her job was to take him back and forth to the doctor's office. So that made me had to kick in a little bit more and try to help both of them. My job got extra stressful. We found out we had another brother in California who was diagnosed with a very advanced growing prostate cancer. and he was moving towards being terminal in that diagnosis. And so while trying to go to work and keep things under control, I'm in the back of my mind dealing with my personal things, needing to take off so I can help with personal issues, but really couldn't because I needed to keep working and just dealing with everything. And I got to a point where I just needed to take time away. I had literally gone to human resources and signed up to take medical leave so that I could get some rest. And what made me do that was that one of my coworkers sat me down and said, "Look, girl, you are not the same. You're no longer smiling. Something is wrong and you need to take care of it." Here I was thinking, I'm a nurse, 30 years of expertise. I'm hide it. I'm dealing with it. Well, I wasn't dealing with it. It was being seen. And unfortunately, my brother passed away. And then 6 months later, December 23rd, in the same year of 2018, we got the news that my brother, another brother, was found dead in his apartment. And so just as I'm about to go on medical leave and going to get a break and get my life together, here's another slam on top of it. So I just had to step back and say, God, where do we go from here? And so he had started pouring this out in me, self-care. You got to take care of yourself, because if you don't love yourself, take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else. And I started feeling that and being able to see that. And so going back to the nursing piece, the nurse in me would always kick in and be there for the doctor's appointments and be there for everything else, because to a degree, we are trained to be able to handle crisis. And so that's all I did. I handled crisis because that was my skill set. But I wasn't dealing with the emotion and the hurt and what I had in here. And that is what needed to be addressed. So in looking at my colleagues now, I want them to see, hey, behind our skill, behind our education, we got a whole human being that needs to be loved, that needs to be told that it's okay to seek help. It is okay to step back and take care of yourself first. Because when you collapse, I mean, we're the front line between the patient and death sometimes. We really are. So if and as us teachers, we're the front line between new nurses or new people coming out. And if we are not at our best, oh my gosh, then whoever we're reaching out and trying to help is just not going to be good at all. Not going to be good at all.
And so that brings me to one of the chapters in your book, right? And you're talking about, I think it's chapter 2, where the character Mark is actually, he's been in the hospice for the 3rd day, and he's a nurse, and he's been dealing with this family who has the husband that's terminally ill, about to die, and they have their family drama that's going on, much like many of us, right? When we get ready to lose someone.
Yes.
And I can, tell me a little bit about that, because I could just like picture it, like this guy, he is frustrated. It's like he loves doing what he does, but to take care of somebody that's terminally ill, that is about to die, that is hard. That's a very hard thing. And I know even last year, a little around this time, November sometime though, last year, we lost one of my brothers, and there was nothing that he could do, and they were going to send him home. And my mom, that was one of her fears. What if they send him home and then he passes and I'm here, and I had to reassure her that, Mom, that's not going to happen. And she was like, but how do you know? And sure enough, in the transition of them transferring him back home, God saw fit to take him then. And so looking at this, I thought about the frustration for a nurse. Here was for my mom, who had been his caregiver. Here it is, a nurse who is trained, equipped, but very much like us, because y'all are human. Y'all are still
You're right, absolutely right. We're human, and we don't always get a chance to address that human part. And a part of my book that I talk about is interesting. You bring up that particular story. I talk about something called compassion fatigue, and that's something that nurses go through as well as home caregivers go through. And basically, what that is once someone's gone through enough traumatic incidents, enough times of someone passing away or dealing with trauma, even though it's not our trauma, we still carry it in our emotions. So that the next time we see another trauma, we react emotionally to it. And so, if you're in a situation, take for instance, right now, where we're in with COVID-19, if you have nurses who are at the bedside working in ICUs and they have patient after patient who don't make it, and these family members can't be at the bedside to support, so it's only the nurses doing that. So, as a nurse, they're standing there with a tablet or an iPhone, letting this patient say goodbye to their family for the last time. There's no human being who can walk away from that and not feel that and carry that. That's compassion fatigue. So imagine this person now having to go home and carry this sadness with them, and it's not addressed. Lots of times, if it is addressed, it's addressed in a negative way. We turn to alcohol, we turn to other things that aren't healthy to help us deal with that heavy emotion that's not ours.
Oh my God. And so I'm just kind of sitting here thinking about, if I have a bad day personally, like I'm in pharma, but I'm not dealing with the patients, and we have our own level of just stuff and stressors that come with it too and I know how that can affect me, on my day to day. So just thinking about it from the healthcare professional perspective that is dealing with that client, or like you said, right now we're in the middle of a pandemic, my God. And in the middle of this pandemic, it's kind of like, I'm pretty sure they're going to work every single day. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, this very well could be the day that I end up working with a patient and then I end up contracting, COVID-19. And so it's like literally, hopefully they're people of faith that they are covering themselves with Psalms 91, and being able to go. But if they're not a person of faith, which makes it even that more difficult, then it's like it's important to have someone like you with the product that you have and just kind of being of service to say, hey, I need you to take a moment to think about you, to care about you, and that is okay. And I think sometimes as professionals, we forget that it is okay to take care of you. It is okay. We have made it, I think, in the world that we live in the culture that we live in, we have made it seem that it is something to work yourself into the grave almost, and not care about yourself, not take take proper care of yourself as far as getting adequate sleep, taking care of our diets, exercising, making sure that we just, maybe take a mental break and take a nap for 20 minutes, for God's sakes, because sometimes that 20-minute nap could really keep you from going postal. And so I think that it's incredible. I really commend you for taking the time to put this out on paper and to be able to birth this book, because I feel like it really is a baby. It's a gift that God has given you to be able to serve other people in this way, because this would be a whole group of people that would go without, essentially, and no one wouldn't think about the fact that, what about the person who is here with me every day serving my personal need, and so often we go, oh, well, that person doesn't have any bedside manner, right? If we encounter the wrong nurse, we don't stop to think about what that nurse might have encountered just 10 minutes prior to coming into the room dealing with us, right? And some of us are difficult, right? Let's be honest. Some of us can be difficult. Not all of us, but some of us. And then, if they just had a person to code, or they just, encounter, and then they come in our room and then they deal with somebody that's difficult, it just, I think it's a thing that we have to learn to be twofold in it. But I want you to give me a little bit of feedback about what are some of your recommendations, some of your exercises that you talk about in a workbook, because I think that that is very practical, that you actually came up with things that helped you yourself, that will help other nurses actually put to practice how to be well, how to take care of themselves, and how to become whole. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Okay, so some of the things that I talk about in the workbook, I really had to, as you say, work on putting it into practice myself. And I'm not totally there, but I'm on a journey and want to take, nurses with me on this journey. One of them is really being intentional with my calendar, putting self-care on the calendar. It doesn't have to be the same type of self-care, but scheduling that time, because if I don't, it's not going to happen. I am teaching from home now. I have a high schooler who's online from home. So there's demands all the time. And so if I don't schedule that Wednesday night that I know I'm going to take a bubble bath, or I'm going to take a hot drink of tea and just close out the world, it won't happen. So I really need to schedule it. Also for wellness, I schedule time to go to the gym. Don't do that as often as I need to, because still trying to balance out COVID and social distancing. But I can exercise at home. I can use a videotape for that. Calling friends and talking with them. As a matter of fact, you and I had a conversation this week, and that was just really helpful on both sides. So having someone you can trust and let down your hair with, and just say, hey, I don't have all this together. I'm not good today. And let that person help you and talk to you about that. It's okay to be able to open up and just not be okay for a change. So just being intentional.
That is so good that you said that, because, I think part of it, people as a whole, we have this thing that we think we have to just put up this facade because we've been told that, oh, you shouldn't put that out there, or oh, you shouldn't let people see you that way. And at the end of the day, people still see you. They see you. You're not hiding. It's like you said, that colleague, they saw it. So I think it's important to have those safe relationships, those safe environments where, your colleagues can come and give, feedback. I don't like to call it constructive criticism, because I think that tears a person down, but giving positive feedback and being able to knowledge share, right? Because when you think about it, like I'm sharing, we're conversing. It's in a place where then you built relationship, you built communication where people can receive, even if it's not so lovely, you can receive it then, and you can go, you're right. That perhaps wasn't the best way to handle that, or perhaps you're right. I should have taken a step back away from that. And so, I already told you a year ago, I adopted you as one of my aunts.
You did.
She's my play aunt. And so I'm always adopting people in my family. I just got this whole family I done created.
And I love it. Absolutely love it.
But yes, I think it's awesome. And so I really commend you for what you're doing. And you just on fire. You got a lot of stuff in store. Even with the Love Yourself to Life, you have the women's edition that's gonna come, in Q2. And I'm just kind of like, well, my Lord, women, she ain't forgot about you. So y'all covered too. And this stuff, it is good. It is good stuff. I might say so myself, because I get to read it and edit it and all of that. So I am excited to see what's in store. You have a lot going on. I know you have some courses that you have coming up, some programs and things of that sort. And you have the Love Yourself to Life conference.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that, because I know you did it. Was it last year you did the Love Yourself to Life conference?
Sure did.
2019. Are you doing it for next year?
I will be doing for 2021. And what I did, it was the Love Yourself to Life conference for nurses edition. And so I would have had any healthcare providers who want to come. That's fine. We love having everybody. But it was for specific for nurses. And what I also did was have nursing entrepreneurs there. So I had a nurse DJ there. I had a nurse who sold other different products and sold her art and this kind of stuff. Had another nurse who had written a book about journaling, and reflective journaling is so awesome as a way to help with our reflection and help with our healing. So I'm trying to also band out with other nurse entrepreneurs and bring all of us in together, because being happy in what we do brings healing and brings joy. So after I've done my bedside or my teaching or those other things directly with nursing, if I got something else that brings joy, that just brings peace and healing as well. So I'm looking forward to having the conference in 2021.
Well, I'm gonna have to look forward to that. I'm hoping that COVID has been, gone on and done whatever it's gonna do, because we've got work to do, and
Work to do.
there are things to do still, and God still has plans and stuff for us, and so I'm excited about the plans, and I'm just like, COVID, you in the way.
Well,
you in the way.
COVID's in the way, but God still has plans. So it's still going to happen whether COVID's in the way or not.
That's true. That's true. And I'm just like, me, I'm like, Jesus, and he's like, child, sit down somewhere. Sit down, have several seats. I got it. Sometimes I'll be trying to run. I'll be running and he'll be having to yank me back and stuff like, get back here. I never told you to go nowhere yet. But that's neither here nor there. But I'm so glad that I was able to have you on tonight. It has been an honor and a privilege to have you on, Miss Lillie. I hope to have you on again to be able to just tell about your conference and what's going on with that. And I'm ecstatic because I know you're gonna have a whole lot of clients rolling in, to talk to you about these books and your conferences and your classes and courses and things. And so I'm excited.
Coaching. I'm looking to coach as well.
Yes, that's right, because you're a wellness coach as well. I told you guys that she is, I'm telling you, she's highly decorated. She's got everything. I'm just kind of like, I don't know how I got blessed to coach you, but praise God. I'm telling you, I just be humbled. I'm like, okay, God, whatever I can do to share. But I'm so excited, and I'm glad again. Thank you for joining us this evening. And so, do you have any final words that you want to tell the people?
I do. My final words are in thinking about the creation that we are. There are so many different facets to us. And so when I talk with people, I talk with them about the different 8 dimensions of our health. And that's how we're going to tackle this together. Those 8 dimensions include the spiritual, include environmental, intellectual, social, emotional, dealing with our well-being and health. All of these dimensions, we're going to tackle that together to be a whole healthy person in 2021 and moving forward. So it's not just nurses at the bedside, but nurses who are in legislature, nurses who are nurse managers who have to be concerned, do I have enough nurses out on the floor to care for patients? Nurses like me who are nurse educators, am I well enough to stand in front of the students and teach them with integrity?
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
Those are the things that I address. Our wholeness. Let's get our wholeness together so we can go out and do this job that we've been called to do with integrity and with joy. So at the end of the day, we can look back and tell Florence and Clara Barton and historic nurse leaders, hey, we did the job we were called to do, and we did it well.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, again, I am so elated that you were on and that you joined us tonight. We're going to say just to everybody that's watching, we hope that you had a Merry, 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 Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. That it is New Year's Eve. We are going to be excited. Yes. We are going to speak that you are going to be, renewed in this new year, that you're going to gain a new birth, that God is going to do some new things in you, and that He's going to give some new directions and some new creativity, some new ideas, some new visions, and some new strategies to all of you that are watching. And so I hope that you receive that, and that you take it in your prayer time and just seek Him and go, God, what is it? What is it that you want me to see, to gain, and to do in this new year? Aside from all the distractions, what is it that you have for me to do? And that's what I'm going to leave y'all with tonight. So again, thank you for joining Empower Me Books, and have a great night.
Bye. Have a great night.